If you have ever realized that the childhood heroes that you listened to when you started out playing the wonderful electric guitar give you about the same amount of pleasure and inspiration in your adult life, I applaud you with one hand. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's Patrick. Today I'm talking about my EVH Frankenstrat striped series Relic Frankenstrat Frankie guitar. EVH brand, made by Fender. Fender owns EVH, and it's made in Mexico. I really like this guitar. My brother gave this to me as a birthday present a couple years back, so thank you so much. As you can tell, I'm working on a little vinyl collection. These are all original pressings. I'm missing VH1. I'm missing Balance, which I'm probably never going to be able to find. OE812 I'm missing, blah, 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 whatever. All of these my girlfriend gave to me, so thank you so much. So talking about this guitar, the neck. This guitar is not a cheap guitar. Some people say it's overpriced for being a Mexican-made guitar, which I don't concur because a lot of money is in the neck. It's a quarter sound maple with a maple board. It feels amazing. It's a compound radius neck. It goes from 12 inch to 16 inches. 25.5 scale length, which is pretty standard. It's a Fender shape C, so it's really nice and comfortable. It's not thin. You got something in your hand, but it's got a 12 to 16 inch, which is a pretty flat board. So it's a super fast neck. It's got jumbo frets on there. The truss rod quick adjustment is here if you have to make one, which is really nice. These are Goto tuners, EVH labeled Goto tuners. And this neck feels amazing. Now, they put a lot of graphite on there. They don't anymore in the newer ones, I think. It's an oiled neck with a lot of graphite it had on there, so it was almost black. Hated it, took an eraser to it. Now I wish I didn't. Because where I didn't, it starts to yellow because it's supposed to be lacquer, and here it doesn't, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's a Frankie, right? If there's ever been a guitar that you kind of are supposed to putz around with, it's this one, because look at it. So that's the neck. Anything else I left out? Oh, 43 millimeters at the nut. And this uses a 2.5 millimeter hex Allen key. The body is a Stratocaster body. Same shape. Comes out to 3.2 kilos, which is about 7 pounds. Fairly light Stratocaster weight. The contours are the ones of a Strat. They are not... Did I think about this? This is, I think, a little deeper. It's not 50s correct like Eric Johnson is, but I really like this body. Very well made. A lot of the money is in the body because of the relicing, as you can tell. Supposedly, they did it the same way that the Vard made his, by putting tape on it, paint it, put tape on it, and paint it. As you know, I'm sure the black and white is the same one than the red, black and white was. He just painted red over it. So EVH makes the same Eruption 78 guitar now in black and white, but has a large headstock like Ed's, and because Ed's had a bunch of different necks on it. The evolution of the Frankenstrat is actually really interesting if you want to look into this online. I have a whole folder with pictures going over through the years, different necks, different pickups. He putzed around with it a lot, as the Bard used to say. And so the body is very well done. There's a lot of money in the relicing because somebody sat with this a very long time. And as you can tell, there's shade from the tape, so I think they really did it that way, which is kind of a pain in the ass, right? See that? And the difference, because Fender makes a custom shop series, tribute series of this one, which goes for about 25K, I think. This you can pick up for 1500 new. And the original has the blue color here when Ed put it on the VH2 banner on a tour backstage which had wet paint on it. So the original has a blue paint on it. It has the exact marks. This one is not exact to his. The relicing. Some people don't like these fork stabs, which I don't know why they put them on there. The stripe pattern is not the same as on Ed's actual private Frankenstrat, but it looks great. So the Tribute series is exact spec. One criticism that people have with the super expensive Tribute series is that they use the wrong tape, because I think Ed used shit, what was it, gaffer tape, and it's torn on one side, so his is, you can see the little tears of the tape on one side, and it's even on the other. And even the Tribute series, both lines are even, so it's a little minor detail, right? Some people like to point out that it's not true to spec. So much for the body. Very cool looking guitar. If you care about not performing with this one because it's the most recognizable pattern ever, don't, because it's Ed. May the King rest in peace. I don't care if I look like a fanboy because it's Ed. It's all right with me. Couldn't care less if I'm being associated with him, and I don't have to be able to play every single lick and line and song of his, but you know, it's what it is. So that's the body. It's lacquer finish. This starts yellowing a little bit, and it's very thin, which I like. It's basswood. Some people say it's alder, which it's not. It's basswood, which is totally fine. The tremolo is an EVH branded Floyd Rose. Screw-in type vibrato arm. Doesn't come with a tip. I put this on there to make it look more like a Stratocaster. Originally comes with the D-tuner that tunes your guitar to drop D, which Ed came up with. It's this part. I hate it. Never liked it. And it also comes with the original piece for the Floyd Rose, so you know you have both, because this is actually not cheap when you buy it, but this comes with the guitar. I took it out. See, didn't work for me because it hits the bottom of it, hits the body and scratches the body, which this guitar beat the shit as is, but I still don't like that. And I also realized that the micro tuner has to be all the way up to be able to push it in, because you push it in, you slide it out, it's drop D. You push it in, you push it back, it's back to standard. It has 2 Allen keys. One smaller one too that's in there, because you have to set the D and the E, the tuning for this one. And this worked out fairly well for me as far as like the actual tuning stability of the drop D and the standard goes, but I never liked not being able to push this, slide this out, because it hits the body, and I was not a fan of not being able to use the micro tuner because it was all the way up, because otherwise you can't get this out. So if anybody has advice for me, a tip, maybe I'm not intelligent enough to use this thing, leave it in the comments. I'd appreciate your input. So this is the tremolo. There's a company called FU Tone, and they make upgrade blocks. This is a brass block. I have no confidence in that block. I may actually exchange this block because it's very tiny. I'm big on blocks on my Strat, so I may as well upgrade this one. Like I said, it's an EVH branded Floyd Rose. Works fine. I have it set up floating like all my trem. It has great tuning stability. I have no problems with it, other than I'm not able to drop D-tune it, but whatever. If you get the 78, it's more of a Strat even, because it has a standard Fender tremolo on it, so you don't have to F around with the locking, which means you'll be able to just drop D-tune it just by, you know, doing that. Which I actually like this guitar. You can pick it up for, I see them now for about $1,000, about $1,000. I may pick one up because I like the large headstock, and I like the Fender tremolo, and it looks great in black and white. A couple modifications I did to this guitar, because the way it comes stock is with the Wolfgang. It's not a Frankenstein humbucker. It's a Wolfgang humbucker, which the Tribute series, the Fender Custom Shop makes, has the Frankenstein in there, which is supposed to be a lot better than this one. True to difficult topic, never ending, because what do you want to sound like? Van Halen 1, Van Halen 2, 5150, it's all in here anyway, you know. But I'm intrigued. I'd like to try it someday. It's about $130, so it's not cheap for the Frankenstein humbucker. This is a Wolfgang. Some people think this is the Frankenstein, but it's not. It's a Wolfgang. Sounds fine. I like it. As you know, Ed used a PAF out of a Gibson and put it in there. That's why he had to tilt it, because we're talking about F spacing using Gibson-style pickups with Fender-style tremolos, because Ed's original Frankenstrat has the original Fender tremolo. String spacing's off, so he had to tilt it to fix that. Like the Vandenberg, the PV, I made a video about one of my guitars. It has it tilted too to compensate for the spacing. The Marzio sells F-spaced pickups. That's what it's called, Fender-spaced, so be aware of that, and the single coil isn't. This one I emailed Fender EVH because people say it's a dummy pickup and a dummy switch, which it's not. They're both functional. They're just not wired up. This is made by Fender, and I emailed Fender, and they told me it's an overwound. Send me the specs if you care. Leave it in the comments. I have the exact specs. I'll put it in the comments or in the description so you can look it up. Actually, it's an overwound 60s sounding Strat single neck pickup, which they could have just told me what they put in there, but they don't like to give out that information for some reason. I had a problem with this because it has no cover on it, just like Ed's, and the little coils that come out on the bottom. Very thin, and they both broke. Now, I don't know if I did that. I messed that up because I put a cream cover on it, took it off, put it on, took it off. They were both broken, so I got a Q pickup. This is called Q Pickups Company. I think they're made in Romania, and it's called a Eddie Van Halen 13 kilo ohm Frankenstrat neck pickup, and the guy told me it's supposed to be like a Seymour Duncan SSL5 or something. So anyway, if you want to hook this up, a little advice, because I couldn't find much about it. I was going to initially use push-push to select the neck pickup and the bridge. I opted to just buy the Marzio 3-way switch. Why? Because I could have used this one. No, because it changes the look. I didn't want to change the look. So I bought a 3-way switch, put that in there. I wired the bridge pickup, because the bridge pickup, to have the Van Halen tone, right, is supposed to be wired directly to the pot. Now it isn't. It's wired to the switch. And this one, you feed the cables underneath that 5-way switch, just in here, and you wire it to the 3-way, wires to the 3-way, and then you have a neck single coil pickup with your Frankie. This sound does not change. I read that people who install a push-push or a push-pull changes the sound of the pickup. I couldn't tell any difference, because this is a really good sounding pickup, so I couldn't tell a difference. Now, I ran into problems with another one of my Strats, which I put an HSS configuration in there. I put a PF Pro in the bridge, and all of a sudden the neck single coils sound really harsh, even though they are wired to tone pots, which is good for the resistance. And I still have to have the tone set to 6 and 7 for not being a nice pick. This one's a little bright, but I think that's just the way the pickup is. You don't have that problem here if you want that neck single coil sound. The problem you do have is that it's not high enough, because it sits very low. So the volume difference between the neck single coil and the bridge pickup is too big. What you do is you use bobbins underneath, couple, 3, whatever, however many you need underneath that screw, and it raises the pickup just so it's perfect height, so I can actually use this. It's very well balanced, so kudos to Q Pickups, and very well balanced as far as the sound and also the volume, because this is high enough now. So if you have a question of how to do this, let me tell you in the comments. If you have a question, ask. It's really not difficult, and I didn't change the look too much, I think, because I use a black tip, so you can hardly tell it's there. Put the quarter on it, which is really not easy, because as I know, in 71 they had a shortage of quarters as is for some reason, and after Ed died, everybody was going crazy building Frankies, so they're really hard to find, because this is just the way his was. Somebody went through the trouble to take out this piece, put the holes where they're supposed to, and the same size. It just looks like his, so I put this on there for good measure. I paid like $15, which is nuts for a quarter, but it's really no money. Now they're really hard to find. These original EVH snap hook guitar strap clasp set. If you think you have to get the originals, don't, because these are actually larger than the actual Frankenstein. So pick these up in a hardware store, and you can find little smaller ones, but I put these on there. I don't like this. I took this off because the sound it makes, it's horrible. I hate it. Capital, all caps, hate it. So I took these off. I bought the original EVH strap, which I'm giving you a look, Fender. It's really not that great of a quality, and it's Velcro. That's how you adjust it. I hate that tearing sound. Rest in peace, Morty Seinfeld. But I made a little compromise, because I put these on there. You can use this with regular strap buttons, which this guitar comes with. But you can also buy the clasp or in a hardware store. Pick some up and put them in there, and use strap blocks, so you don't have to use this clanking noise, right? You just have a regular strap. Works very well like that, and it's the look that it's supposed to have, which a lot of people say it's ugly, which I guess it is, but that's the look. So I like the way it's set up now. So I think that's all there's to this guitar. I really like it. It's a great neck. If you're thinking about buying one, the money's in the neck. It's an amazing neck. It plays really, really well. Like I said, I'm intrigued in picking up the black and white one. But that's all there's to this for this guitar today. Have a great day. Take care.